Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new career mode episode here on the F1 2018 game. And today we are here for round number 18 of the season for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Now if you guys did miss yesterday's race, then do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen to go check out the last race, because it was a pretty interesting one, a very enjoyable one, should I say. And yeah, overall it does help us out in terms of carrying momentum through into this race weekend here in USA, and I'm looking forward to this race. I've always quite liked Kota. I didn't like it that much in last year's game though, so I'm quite curious to see how we get on around the track in this year's game, because last year I thought the AI were very strong, a little bit overpowered. The delta times for the practice programs were way too hard, and tyre wear was too much as well, and it just seemed like a very long race and a bit of a grind. So I'm hoping we do get an improvement for this race weekend, and on this year's game it does feel a little bit better. Now going to this race, I can say obviously no upgrades in the car. We'll stick with what we've got. We obviously in the last episode we worked on some of the upgrades that are focused on next season's regulation change, so really we just sort of stuck with the car we have for now. And we was in practice. I pretty much did every single practice program except for the qualifying performance test, because there was rain expected. As you can see on screen, the rain was starting to come down, and we had to tackle Marcus Ericsson and a little bit of rain in the race strategy test to actually complete it. So unfortunately we did all the programs except for the qualifying test. I was a bit tight for time, so I couldn't do it. I just had to get straight into qualifying, and not too bad actually. I was quite happy. I was very impressed with the tyre wear around here. Tyres held up very nicely in practice, and overall the car felt nicely balanced, which I quite liked. So a lot of positives to take from the first practice session.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
However, the question is, can we carry that through into Saturday qualifying? I guess we will have to wait and see. But after practice, I felt very confident. The car felt great. Good balance, good setup. I was running a default setup with 6.6 wings. I think I was running, I think that's it, literally just, I was running the default setup with 58% brake bias and 75 differential on and 100% off. But the rest of the setup was completely default. Now, going to practice, into qualifying, should I say, I kept the setup exactly the same. I didn't change anything. This is sunny conditions compared to the cloudy ones in practice. And to be fair, off of the bat, the AI found a lot of pace. I was a little bit concerned. They really started to step up the levels, and I couldn't really match up. It was a real challenge to really try and find any sort of lap time and keep up with these guys. And all in all, I realised I had to really roll up my sleeves and get down and dirty and really try to fight for the lap times. And straight away in Q1, I knew there was based off of the practice times, I knew how to step up my game, and I did do that. Got the ERS settings nicely balanced out. To be fair, around this track I was quite lucky. In hot lap mode I was able to do a whole lap and not run out of deployment, so that's critical for us to get a good lap in.
Your last lap moved you up to P14 on the grid.
And I had that one attempt. I was P14, dropped down to P15 after that, but luckily that lap was enough to see us through into Q2. So I was very happy. First Q2 in a while actually, and like I mentioned, the ERS was not running out. The ERS in hot lap was doing the trick, so I left it in hot lap for the entire lap. Now in Q2, you can see there, big mistake, just pushing too hard, cutting the corner, and ultimately that first attempt of two attempts is going to be invalidated. So it's all or nothing when it comes to this lap, so we need to really focus here and make sure this lap is good. Now straight away, turn 1, you want to brake on the little red black box on the right hand side of the track, and then you want to brake down a third/second gear depending on your preference for turn 1, and then get on the power nice and early. Make sure you get good traction all the way down the hill of turn 2 as we now go into the S section here. Critically, you get all your apexes, get the car hooked up, really want to make sure you get the section nice and flowed. And so far it's been a great first sector from me so far, no mistakes. Every single swooper has been absolutely brilliant. On the exit over the hill, you can run wide there, you won't get a track extend, and to be fair, they do that in real life anyway, so I guess it's kind of fair. Then into the hairpin, I missed my apex a little bit, third gear action. Here it's not so important to get the apex, it's more important to really get the traction, because this back straight is absolutely massive and top speed is absolutely key. So as you can see right now, 320 Ks, sunset, as we now look for 50 meter board on the right hand side, down a third gear, pick up the apex. As you can see there, nicely done. On last year's game used to be a 100 meter board, now it's 50 when it comes to the brake zone, so that's already changed in this year's game in terms of the braking distances. Then now for the very tricky and technical final sector, very, very different. There's a million different lines you can take. Ultimately, I've got it quite nicely sorted out, a little bit of a lock up, but ultimately not too bad, and the lap's coming together rather nicely as we now go into the penultimate corner, fifth gear action over the curb. Use all of the exit speed if you can, and all the track on the exit as we now go into the final corner, third gear action, pick up your apex on the power, a little bit of a tank slapper and across the line. And the question is that lap going to be good enough for Q3? Yes it is, P9. So very good lap there, and ultimately our best lap, we saved it right to the death, and we pulled out a big lap to see us into the final part of qualifying. And Gasly only P11, so he missed out unfortunately in the other Toro Rosso, and we pulled it out of the bag when it mattered the most. Now in Q3, a bit of an issue. Rain was here.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
And obviously with the rain, we had to get out on the track straight away. Literally the session just loaded in. I saw on the thing that was rain coming as it got really dark, and I went straight out, but you can see it's actually already starting to drizzle, so we need to be quick. And as you can see here, we encountered a bit of traffic. Vettel there on intermediates already. He went straight on the inters. We committed to the drives. We had the grip early on the out lap. However, once the actual time lap got on the way on the next time round, the rain just got really heavy and it just picked up drastically. And in the end, DRS got disabled, and that pretty much just had to bail from the lap because it wasn't going to happen. Now, we switched to the inters. As you can see, everyone's already set their lap times. Our first attempt was nothing special by any means. I was trying to get to grips with the track. I went out for a second lap, and it didn't really do much for me because I made a couple of mistakes. So I went out for a third lap. I stayed out basically. I put a lot of fuel in the car, and this was my third and final and best attempt. So we're going to run a ball now for the entirety of the lap here at the Circuit of the Americas, and you can definitely see the difference in speeds compared to the Q2 lap. Now overall, the lap I can tell you got us P10. We didn't really improve. Wet conditions around here, the car felt good. I felt pretty good. However, the AI seemed to be very strong in the wet. Like, I mean very strong, because I was very happy with this lap. Not that many mistakes, if any at all. I was very happy with it. You know, no real lockups. There's the usual sort of like little bit, you know, tank stuff as you get in the wet, but I don't really consider that a time loss because you don't really lose that much time. I got most of my apexes. Used the karting lines a bit as well, and all in all I was quite happy with the lap. It was going really well for us. As you can see in the Delta, we are up quite nicely on our previous best in the session, and you know, we're going to improve even more really. And I was quite disappointed to see how fast the AI were. I guess in a way we've got work to do in the wet conditions. Maybe the car, because the aero is the weakest part of the car when it comes to the R&D screen, maybe, you know, it comes down to the aero package is not good enough. And we need to improve that, and we did have an upgrade that was meant to come for the last race, but it failed on us. So, and it is a major one as well. So hopefully we can get that on the car at some point, because that might help us out in these sort of conditions when we really need just the raw car grip and downforce, which we do not have at the moment. And as you can see, we are still up in the Delta, and the lap it's been a very good lap. You know, like I mentioned, really, that's my first and only mistake of the lap, just running a little bit wide there at the penultimate corner. But other than that, it was a really good lap, and ultimately it was still only good enough for P10, but we do improve by nearly a second on our previous best.
Nice job.
And overall, that was the story of qualifying, and not too shabby. But now we're going to run you through the full grid and also the full race start procedure with Crofty.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula One finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside the great city of Austin. This is the 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 each to the left and to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Toro Rosso. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Bottas, Sainz, Alonso, Martinez and Pierre Gasly, Magnussen, Hülkenberg. They've taken a grid penalty. Romain Grosjean and Ocon, Perez, Van Dorn, Sergei Sirotkin and Marcus Ericsson, Stroll and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. P9 on the grid. We got promoted by one position due to someone getting a penalty, so I'm not complaining. We are going to start on row number 4, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how this race develops. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very, very exciting race. I think Cota's always been a track that I've had decent pace at. Sometimes I've hated it more than others in terms of how the track is in the F1 game, but this year, especially in this year's game, it seems to be a lot better for me, and I seem to enjoy it a lot more. And the AI seem to not be as OP as past years. Even then, we still got a challenge with P9, and we're on the back foot slightly because for the first time in a while, a lap didn't actually get invalidated in qualifying, and we managed to set a lap in Q2 and then get into Q3. And basically, as you can see on the screen, we have a different strategy option now. The one stop's going to be, it's possible if I use the softs. But I'm going to go for the 2-stop. I feel like I fancy a 2-stop today. I don't really want to go for the 1. I want to try and be aggressive and basically push the car to the limit. Fuel-wise, we are only half a lap over. I don't want to go too heavy on fuel. And the more important thing here, and the critical part of this race and the big issue, is my gearbox is on 64% wear. So there's a very high chance that something could happen in this race. I'm praying it doesn't. I'm touching wood right now, hoping nothing goes wrong, but you never know. It could absolutely go tits up. So let's see what happens. It's going to be an intriguing race, you know, trying to push hard on that 2-stop whilst trying to keep the gearbox in check somehow. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race, and I'm very much looking forward to it. No rain expected, so let's get into it, and it's time for round number 18 for the USA Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here for the USA Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Great start, but Pierre gets off to a fantastic start himself. Into turn 1, being careful here. Pierre locks up. We have to go up the inside of my teammate. He goes a little bit deep into turn 1. Side by side Carlos Sainz here. It's been a great start up into P8 already. We go around the outside of Sainz. It's side by side into the S section. We just get our car in front. Sainz backed out, and we are P7, best of the rest. So very good start from us, getting the jump on 2 cars actually, because we started P9, but still a great start nonetheless, getting past the Renaults and also Fernando Alonso. Gasly seemingly getting a good start as well. So a good start from us as a team. We're both in the points already. Didn't really notice what tyre Gasly was on, so that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
That's a strong start. Well done.
Now hopefully we can make this 2-stop work. If we want to make it work, we need to stick with this lead pack of 6 cars, both Red Bulls, both Ferraris, both Mercedes. We need to stick with their pace and see if we can match them. I'm surprised Mercedes are 5th and 6th because they have the best car by a mile. Like, they've been upgrading like mad, and their car is easily the quickest, yet they just struggle for pace around here for some reason. Either way, I'm not complaining. Let's get our head down. Gasly's now at P8. He's on super soft, so he might be a little bit slower than me at the initial part of this race, and he's going to be maybe holding up some cars behind us. So now's my chance to try and break away, leave my teammate, try and get the gap over a second, and try and stick with this lead pack if we can, which I think we can do if I play my cards right and keep my head down, don't make any mistakes. Of course, here Pierre's off to a fly here. He's running really good on that tyre. That super soft, seemingly a very good race tyre. He's actually left Sainz behind, and he's got past me quite easily. So Pierre showing great pace on that super soft early on, and that's potential and a good sign for me in terms of race strategy to know that tyre is competitive. It's good for me to know valuable intel, and I don't mind being overtaken by Gasly right now as long as we stick with the lead pack. So I'm happy to follow Pierre for now. You can see there's a bit of a separation behind us as Magnussen is a bit further back. So as long as me and Gasly are here with the lead pack, I don't really mind. As I get a bit wide, they're struggling to really get used to the car. There's heavy fuel at the moment. So kicking off here, it looks like Verstappen's made the move on one of the Ferraris. Raikkonen seems to be struggling for pace at the moment. I am also struggling for pace on this ultra soft already. It's starting to fade away, and Magnussen has caught up, but like I said, Raikkonen struggling is allowing us to all stay in the pack. I feel like I've got front wing damage, but I don't. Just really struggling with my car for some reason. Just got chronic understeer, which is something I really didn't feel in quali, so hopefully that will improve when we change the tyres. Out the final corner, we've got DRS on Pierre, so
we're
looking good.
The pit window. You'll be on the super softs.
I'm just hoping Magnussen's caught up to me. I'm hoping Sainz behind doesn't have DRS, but he probably does. At this point, everyone's just in one big massive train because of Raikkonen, as he is now convincingly overtaken by Verstappen. This is definitely going to be the last race for some of the components in my car, I think, but we're still managing it. We're still okay. I've got to say, this whole Raikkonen dilemma is really helping me out. If you look at this entire pack of cars, if we go for the 2-stop, we're going to basically have the power to undercut so many people here. Even though we're doing an extra stop, if I can set some very strong laps on the super soft when I come in for that tyre, I'm going to be putting myself in a very good position for later on in the Grand Prix when everyone's on worn soft compound tyres and the one stoppers. So we need to keep that in mind. It's a long game.
Moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
But this situation definitely helps us right now. Kimi has now been overtaken by Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. I'm going to guess Bottas will follow fairly soon here on the home stretch would be my guess, unless that Ferrari's pretty good in a straight line. Raikkonen clearly struggling with something. Could be tyres, who knows, energy maybe. We are now going to have DRS on Gasly yet again here. We're just sticking in the DRS. If we stay there, then we're pretty good. But that super soft looks a great race tyre.
The engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear.
It definitely is. Gearbox on 67.
Window open. Let's box this lap.
Gearbox 67% wear. It's looking pretty touch and go at the moment. But we're coming in this lap, so let's focus on the pit stop. Right then, we're going to come in this lap for our first of 2 stops this race. I'm actually quite looking forward to doing this 2-stopper. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Here we go, penultimate corner, just a bit of understeer now kicking in. A little bit wide as I think Hamilton's come in into the pit lane. Aggressive entry from me, really pushing the limits here. Getting it slowed down, there we go. That was a solid pit entry, one of my better ones. Hamilton's in, he's going to get fresh tyres in the car, as is Sebastian Vettel and also Max Verstappen. We've held up Hamilton and Verstappen successfully, which is good news for us. Wow, that was terrible. That was absolutely shocking. I don't know why. I went quiet because I was shifting gears and nothing was happening. I had a couple of screen freezes, which didn't help, but
We're doing one more stop today. 1 stop left in our strategy.
it was a good stop from the crew, but ultimately the car just didn't pull away. I don't know if that's gearbox related to the gearbox issues I've got, but either way, the P19. Let's get our head down on this tyre and try and get on with it. We need to make the moves. Alonso's ahead of us. I don't know if that's for position or not. Might be coming for an early stop, so if that's the case, we need to get past him. Hulkenberg getting close here. He's going to go for the move. I'm going to go defensive. He gets me on the inside though. Fair play. Nice move. This is exactly not what I want. I wanted to rejoin in clean air and be able to push in this tyre for the 2-stop to work. This is not helping me one bit. Multiple cars in the pit lane. Sorokin, I can see Bottas and Raikkonen into turn 1 there. Also, Hulkenberg is bloody quick. Really, really quick. Okay, I'm starting to feel a bit more confident now with with my car and my tyres. Up in a P17, a couple more cars in the pit lane, but we've definitely lost a lot of positions in the pit stop phase. We've dropped well out of the points in that transition phase. I think Hulkenberg and Alonso came in a lap earlier, and it hasn't helped me out. A little bit wide into the hairpin and try and set my car up for the better exit here. I'm going to try and repass Hulkenberg because I'm starting to feel myself now with this car and the tyres, and I'm starting to pick up the pace a bit, so we're going to get the job done here. Around the outside is close. A little bit of wheel banging, but we get the job done.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds.
We hold the inside, and that is a textbook overtake around the outside right there. Up next, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. Let's try and catch up to these guys and start making the moves. I need to also shake off Hulkenberg and break the 1 second barrier if I can. Personal best 35.8, not too bad. Massive train of cars in front. There's a lot of opportunities here to make the moves, and I can see a Mercedes is struggling there in front of Sainz and Alonso. Or is that Lance Stroll? If that's Lance Stroll, I'll be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked. Okay, it is Lance Stroll. I'm hoping he hasn't stopped, then it's just because he hasn't stopped yet, because if he has, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I definitely...
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
Definitely doesn't seem like he stopped, because he seems to be quite on the back foot. There's been contact between Sainz and Stroll. They've locked on, and we slip past the pair of them, and we're going to have DRS on Fernando Alonso here.
Okay, clear.
Here's the opportunity then we've been waiting for. We waited till the time as well. Alonso has DRS, but so do I. Overtake, running maximum power here in the Toro Rosso. Down to the inside this time. Up the inside on the brakes. Beautifully done. Squeeze him out on the exit, and there we go. P13. 3 places gained in the space of a straight and a corner. Very nicely done. Making good recovery now. I've found my pace on these tyres, and I'm starting to come alive in this race a bit. Really closing up to Ericsson here. He's obviously not stopped yet in that Sauber on those super softs. Really closing up the gap. I'm going to pick up some DRS as well, which is nice. Get the braking all sorted out for the hairpin. Get the car rotated on the power nice and early. Get the ERS switched on nice and early here. Let's try and get this move done before the brake zone. That Sauber is no slouch in a straight line. I can confirm it's going to Take a little bit of extra horsepower to get the job done here. We're going to go to the outside again. A little bit wide. A little bit too wide, to be fair. We've got that one absolutely wrong. Misjudged that one completely. Ericsson doing a good job on the brakes. So we have to wait for a little bit longer here to make the move. Not going to go for the reckless dive into double left-hander. That could end in tears, especially in this year's game where the AI will just turn into you because you've gone for a stupid move. So we'll probably have to wait until turn 1. But after that, once we've cleared Ericsson, there'll be a nice bit of clean air for me to attack and really try and go for it. So here we go. Final corner. There we go. Nicely rotated the car on the power, nice and early. Overtake ERS. Here we go. Gaining. Not a lot, but we are going to launch it up the inside. And there we go. Textbook move up in the P12. Now, while Ericsson's still behind me, now's my chance to shake off Alonso and Hulkenberg and break the DRS.
Pierre is in for his stop.
Yep, Pierre has come in for his first stop of the race, first and only. If I can at least come out ahead of him, then it shows we made progress in this stint, even though we've had to really battle the traffic here. Ericsson's doing a good job of keeping up, but he's also now coming in as well. On the power here, Pierre leaving the pit lane now. To be fair, he's done well, he's at good pace, but we are going to come out ahead. So that's the gap right now. He's pretty much a pit stop ahead of me, because he's going to come out right in front of Alonso and Hulkenberg, which is not what I wanted. I was hoping he'd come out behind. And basically he's going to be faster than me now as well. So we are exactly a pit stop ahead of Pierre. He's on the soft compound tyres though, so we are going to have the massive advantage at the end on the fresh supers. Esteban Ocon in the pit lane. He's another one stopper. And to be fair, Gasly's pace on that fresh soft is ridiculous. He's flying already. It's going to be hard for me to keep him behind. Pierre goes up the inside of the hairpin. It's an audacious move, not really a usual overtaking spot. And he's done it convincingly, to be fair. He's going to get DRS as well. So I'm just going to try and use his slipstream to stay ahead of Hulkenberg, who's behind me. Hulkenberg has DRS, and he's on the same strategy as me. So realistically, I want to try and keep Hulkenberg behind as long as I can. Currently P8. Gasly's got some great pace on those softs.
Some gearbox wear, trying to keep your number of shifts to a minimum.
I'm working on it, Jeff, don't worry about it, but there's not much I can do, unfortunately. Here we have the lead group on the 2-stopper coming in already, so they're doing their final stops of the race. Here comes Nico Hulkenberg, and we'll have to go defensive slightly, just to cover off the inside. Vettel just comes out behind Pierre Gasly, missing out. So Gasly right now on the 1-stop up into P4. Fantastic race from him so far. Brilliant performance. Running maximum ERS mode already in overtake here. Down to medium. Hulkenberg knocking on the door. Doesn't commit to them any move though. I think I've got this under control for now, as Vettel's made the pass on Pierre. Right, I'm going to try and push hard this lap. Let's see what we've got left in the tank. As Hulkenberg's coming in, and Alonso came in a couple of laps ago, so we need to respond. Grosjean to the outside. I'm going to go for the squeeze. There we go, nicely defended.
Box this lap, please.
Yep, on the way, Jeff. I've run out of tyres big time here. We're in massive trouble. Just got to try and nurse this one back to the pits. Hopefully, on the lightest of fuel in the last stint, I can have some sort of qualifying pace about me, which is what I provided in Q2, and try and put in a performance. But we're going to come out back out behind Hulkenberg and Alonso probably. So here we go into the pit lane. Grosjean stays out. That's fair enough. I'm going to slow it down. There we go. That was a great entry, even better than last time. Really aggressive. Let's hope for a nice quick stop from the boys. You never know, Hulkenberg might have got caught in a bit of traffic or something. Might not have been the best lap, but I can see him already coming around the final corner, so he's had a good stop. Away we go. 2.1 this time, a much better, smoother stop. Hulkenberg coming alongside now.
Pit strategy complete.
There he is. He's behind Van
See these
Dorn.
tyres through to the end now.
Late to turn 1, up the inside. Have we done enough? Yes, we have. There we go. Brilliant. We made it work. I genuinely thought I was not going to come out ahead, but we have. So, brilliant news. And we're out ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. So now let's try and get past Stoffel Van Dorn here with relative ease. And that way, I can then go after Fernando Alonso, who I'd be surprised if he was on a super soft. He came in so many laps ago that I doubt that's the tyre he's on right now. I presume he might be on a soft because he came in that early. Meanwhile, here we are right behind Stoffel Van Dorn here. Up the inside of the hairpin. Going to go for the old block pass. and pick up the DRS as well in the process. There we go, that is efficient as you like. DRS open, into overtake, burn up the ERS, try and break the slipstream a bit, try and pull away here. And that is a good pass. Up next, Fernando Alonso, and he is on softs like I expected, so let's go hunt him down. Yellow flag behind.
Green flag.
Something's happened to Carlos Sainz, I think. I think that might be the end of his USA Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken here. In the meantime, though, we are still P13. Let's go after Alonso. And no, stop for Van Dorn, actually. Van Dorn's out of the race, so his race didn't last much longer after I passed him. Unfortunately for him, he's out of the USA Grand Prix. And we got a Haas in the pit lane, so we're going to get another position here. I'm going to guess that's Romain Grosjean. Yes, it is. There we go. Let's make sure we come out ahead of him. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, P12. Up next, Fernando Alonso. Let's get those points. Hulkenberg is pretty damn quick. He's running max engine modes. He goes up the inside, goes for the move. Puts him in the curb.
The car behind is now running the super soft tyre. That's the super soft on the car behind.
But we defend our position beautifully. Textbook defending there to stay ahead of the German. Right, personal best. Good pace. I can see a couple of Force Indias there through turn 2. That's the target. But we're going to have to work for it, I think. There seems to be an opportunity here for a lot of points. I think Raikkonen is struggling still. Look on the pit straight, all those cars in that train. Everyone seems to be bunching up in that lot, so that's what we've got to aim for. Could be big points on the table for us. Whatever issues Kimi seems to be having, he's not having them anymore. Those Force Indias are still pretty far away. I'm not really catching Alonso either. I'm starting to wonder if this is going to happen or not. Gearbox on 74%. Not great. Here comes Hulkenberg. He's got an incredible run on me this time. I want to try and go deep. There we go. Nice bit of defensive driving there. Get the inside for the next corner. Squeeze him out. And that was some good defensive driving yet again here. I think the points aren't going to happen though. I'm starting to really doubt it. Tyres aren't getting any fresher either. Not the best exit. Tyres starting to let go now. 3 laps to go in this race. I think it's going to be a pretty disappointing ending to this race. It could potentially be our first non-points finish since Bahrain, which is incredible when you think about it really, but not much you can do. Hulkenberg placed his car beautifully there. Good defensive driving. We switch back underneath there. We find the traction, and I'm going to get him again. So we hold on for a bit longer.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Here comes Hulkenberg. He's going to potentially go for the move. I'm going to cover off the inside. There we go. Once again, holding on nicely. I'm surprised my gearbox hasn't gone. I can't lie. It's over 75% worn. It's absolutely knackered. But this race has been an absolute write-off, to be honest. Race pace, nothing like my qualifying pace. I lost it all on Sunday. Don't know what happened, but I'm not happy with the car one bit, to be fair. Right then, the final couple of corners. Let's just bring this one home. A race to write off. First non-points finish since Bahrain. Pretty much a disaster. I think the engine ultimately impacted my performance a bit as well. A fresher engine could have had a bit more pace, but all in all, I can't complain. Final corner, we've had a great run, but it's going to be P12 for this race. Not great, but overall, it happens.
Bad luck. It just wasn't our day today.
Okay, looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins yet again here at the Circuit of the Americas. 2-stop strategy for the win, beating Valtteri Bottas for the race victory. Very dominant win there from Vettel, over 20 seconds clear, and Ferrari responding to Mercedes' recent dominance. Daniel Ricciardo running off the podium, Kimi Raikkonen P4 after qualifying on pole, ultimately just didn't have the pace of his teammate. Pierre Gasly P5, and a very good performance from our teammate there, 5th place, and from Pitlane on the grid on the one stopper, and 10 points for himself, not too bad there. Lewis Hamilton P6 ahead of Max Verstappen, with Sergio Perez in the best of the Force Indias P8 ahead of Kevin Magnussen and Esteban Ocon. Alonso P11, and we are in P12, our first non-points finish since Bahrain. Further down the order though, the only retirement, Stoffel Van Dorn, who unfortunately had to retire from the Grand Prix. In terms of the driver standings though, you can see nothing really affected us that badly, and we're still 30 points clear from Pierre in the Drivers' Championship. However, Sebastian Vettel retakes the lead as Hamilton only managed P6, and our top 3 is still only 9 points clear, and there's 3 more races to go. Raikkonen are pretty much mathematically out of it. I think that the next race, if he doesn't get a win basically, he's pretty much out of it. So yeah, that top 3 looking very close. In terms of the constructors there, you can see Mercedes have their gap reduced to 54 points. If Ferrari can find some late form, you never know. There could be an upset, but we are very much looking 4th place contenders, and that position pretty much secure now, I'd say, with 3 more races to go. But with that being said, let's jump into the laptop and purchase some more upgrades. Okay then, so here we are on the R&D screen. Now, we have to look at the upgrades. We have 1,700 points to spend. So, straight away, we're going to get the last 2 remaining upgrades, which are for future-proofing the car for next season. And right now, as things stand, as you can see in the green colours, the darker green on the left and the top, we have now covered ourselves for next season. So we can now focus on continuing the development of the car. Now, me personally, I'm going to focus on the things that don't improve performance. However, I do want to make one last upgrade for the front wing here, because this upgrade was pending for a long time, because I felt a lot of understeer in that race and I wanted to get that improved. Now we can focus on other parts of the car. Now, if I'm being honest and realistic here, it's time that we do improve the wear, because it's starting to really slack big time. Now, we don't have enough points to actually buy anything here right now, so I'm going to go elsewhere. Now, where do I want to go for this? I'm probably going to go to the engine department, and we're going to be still working hard in this department next season. Now, I'm going to try and get the department quality control, which is this one here, for next in the next episode. I can't afford this one right now, so again, we're going to have to wait. We ain't got really enough points to really buy anything, so maybe we go into the aero side of things, and we potentially get a department quality control to reduce the chance of failures by 7.5%. Now, looking at it on the grand scheme of things, I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep those 573 points, and hopefully we get a nice big amount in the next episode, and then we can really start to push forward with development. Now, all we're doing, we're just basically waiting for this aero upgrade to arrive in the next race, which, you know, if it does arrive, as you can see on the graph, that midfield, you know, Haas, Toro Rosso, and Renault are extremely close. Like, we are literally neck and neck. McLaren not too far behind, Force not too far behind, and Williams and Saab are also really starting to catch up now. So it's all getting very close in that midfield area, and the battle is tense. Now, hopefully the upgrade will arrive from Mexico, and basically once that arrives, we are going to spend the rest of the season focusing on department quality controls and also reliability upgrades to really try and get the car nicely balanced out for next season. Now, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then please do drop a like, and also do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. Turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me, guys, and finally, check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.